It was a world where the sacred principles of avarice and consumption reigned supreme, enforced by the cold, ruthless tendrils of corporate dominion. The nameless city's skyline stood as a towering monument to mankind's proclivity for self-debasement, its soaring ziggurats emblazoned with sickening commercial idolatry. In every soulless corridor and office sepulchre, the denizens toiled in willing obeisance to their corporate idols. Their individuality gradually eroded into a gray, uniform slurry of conscienceless productivity. Yet amidst that bleak, commodified landscape, a few still carried the dangerous spark of rebellious spirit. Ethan, a profaner against the entrenched orders, waged a clandestine war of subversion through cyberspace's endless digital trenches. Each bold transmission pierced the corporation's stranglehold on information, free thought briefly flaring before the enforcer's brutal countermeasures snuffed it out. Viewed as a scourge upon the system, he became the darknet's seal obscura, an energizing beacon for those thirsting to dismantle humanity's self-imposed shackles. With every thread of forbidden knowledge disseminated, more freethinkers rallied to embrace authentic purpose over the hollow, commodified existence sanctioned by their overlords. Yet for every micro-uprising flaming defiantly, the corporations deployed increasingly draconian countermeasures to preserve order. Correction facilities arose to re-educate and assimilate the divergent into a perpetual gray holding pattern of mindless, spiritually neutered consumption. Even free will itself was pathologized as a cancerous deviance, requiring meticulous surgical excision. As Ethan's movement gained traction, the corporations deployed their most insidious stratagem, co-opting the very concept of identity into a marketable commodity. Citizens became mere conglomerations of metadata, their online behavior algorithmically stripped for insights on influencing purchasing habits. Once profiled, custom engagement strategies took root, slowly reconditioning any aberrant individuals into the abysmally predictable archetype of the model consumer. It was in this climate of silent, psychological attrition that Ethan faced his greatest crucible. Forced into deeper underground autonomy, with the corporate machine's assimilative tentacles tightening by the day, he and his allies sensed the insurrection's flame dimming against vast, suffocating forces. The cool anonymity of the digital realm provided Ethan's movement a temporary bastion from which to regroup and reassess their insurgent stratagems. But the corporation's grip only tightened. Overt militarization of public spaces accelerated as the citizens grew increasingly restive. Surveillance web nets proliferated, data mining the metropolis's residents with algorithmic meticulousness to identify any burgeoning pockets of sedition. In this steadily compressing vice, the freethinkers began suffering incalculable losses. Supply caches were discovered, safe houses compromised one by one through intricate honeypot sting operations. Ethan's gaunt features grew grimmer with each comrade's disappearance into the re-education machine's maw. They had struck the cold, unfeeling heart of the corporatocracy, and it was striking back with merciless precision. An audacious counter-offensive was their only hope. Bypassing the surveillance networks through encrypted darknet channels and anonymous mesh routing, Ethan issued an open, seditious broadcast, a primal rallying cry reverberating through every hidden enclave still clinging to its last shreds of free will. They would strike at the corporation's most sacrosanct idols in a final, desperate gambit. As society teetered towards implosion, the freethinkers descended en masse upon the city's commercial basilicas. Riotous anarchy and digital sabotage gripped the metropolis as the grand corporate temples burned. In the ensuing chaos, something profound began catalyzing within the populace's long-suppressed psyche, the rejuvenating spark of transcendent possibility spreading like wildfire. Yet just when humanity's indomitable emancipatory spirit seemed poised for ultimate deliverance, cruel reality came crashing down with sobering finality. In the smoking ruins of liberation's last stand, the corporatocracy's final sanction descended in the form of terrifying Ultimo machines, programmed to extinguish the human element itself. As his brothers and sisters were subsumed in a haze of psionic suppression rays, Ethan caught one final glimpse of the reborn dream being ruthlessly obliterated. He opened his eyes, only to find himself trapped in a pale, pristine pod amid countless others. Soulless instrumentation blinked impassively as a disembodied voice issued its sterile verdict. Consciousness obedience simulations failed 9th time. 1 year added to consciousness sentence. Increase sedative dose. Darkness closed in as visions of hope drained away, replaced by the grim reality that his every waking moment was but another link in the infinite chains of a mercilessly simulated existence. Perhaps the greatest bondage was not knowing one's prison existed at all.